in partnership with USAID, is providing funding and financial support to the IT sector in Moldova, and especially then through the TechWid project. And this funding allows for events like this to happen. And I think it's incredible that you are doing this. So I think that, I have a lot of thoughts around this, but one of the things is that why do we think it's important that you have this? And in our development cooperation, Sweden puts an emphasis on aspects such as human rights and gender equality. Those are cornerstones to what we are doing. And I think that considering, in the development cooperation, when we're considering those who are living at risk of poverty, who are in poverty, the ones who are marginalized, and why they are marginalized, those are really key to our work. And this is definitely what you have done over the past couple of days. You have been talking about these issues from an IT perspective. So an event like this is part of recognizing challenges and identifying solutions to reaching out to all of the people in Moldova. So what you have been discussing the past days are diversity, equity, inclusion, and those are very, very big words. When I look at diversity, we're looking at including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, faith, and so on. When we're talking about equity and equality, those terms sound quite familiar, but how you use them and implementation of one versus the other can lead to very different outcomes for marginalized populations and people. So equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities, whereas equity, it recognizes that each person has a different circumstance and then allocates that exact resource and opportunity that is needed to reach an equal outcome. And then, of course, inclusion, which should be seen as universal human rights. The aim of inclusion is to embrace all people, irrespective of race and gender, disability, medical or other need. And it's about giving access and opportunities and getting rid of discrimination, stigma, and intolerance. So to remove the barriers to all people. And I think that what we understand as diversity, equity, inclusion in the IT community, it varies quite a bit. And there are several aspects, and all of them are subject to in-depth discussions. You have started in the past couple of 4 days, but I think this is an ongoing discussion that we need to embark on and work on jointly. So please allow me for a few more minutes, because I would like to reflect a little bit on this, on diversity, equity, inclusion in the IT community. And this is by no means exhausted list. I'm just scratching the surface on this. For example, we talk about gender equality and embracing gender equality in terms of bringing girls and women to STEAM and encourage female mentors and role models or ambassadorships. That's a step on the way to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the IT community. But I think it goes further. So I think that gender equality is also to consider, for example, in programming and design of AI, for example. And to this, I can recommend a TEDx talk by Josie Jung on the topic of why we need feminists in design of AI. I can post a link to that later on.
Yeah, thanks so.
Yeah, and I think it's also about making digital tools and digital transformation inclusive of everyone in the society and making sure that the digital divide is eliminated. It shouldn't matter if you live in a rural area or if you are 80 years old, and it shouldn't matter if you are visually impaired or if you are in a wheelchair. It shouldn't matter which language you speak, and it shouldn't matter if you have a learning disability. digital transformation and digital tools are here for everyone. So society needs to ensure that digital transformation is accessible to everyone and includes everyone. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is about making sure everyone is in the society is included, if it's in school, if it's in the workforce, if it's in cultural life or in social life. And in many ways, the IT sector provides the solution for this to happen. So how can we find and serve solutions if you don't know the actual needs? And I think that you have a resource base here and a skill set to really use for diversity and inclusion, because resources and skills of people with disabilities or in different parts of society are often ignored or untapped. So if the IT sector can be, and in some ways already is, a role model to include people from all society in their workforce. So after this couple of days, and maybe my talk is rambling on a little bit, but it's like I'm feeling so passionate about this, because I do believe that we need to serve everyone, and when we serve everyone and find their needs, we also push forward the innovations and so on. It's like when we serve one person, we serve everyone. So I really think that after these days, maybe I've started to reflect about also on exclusion. So what is exclusion for you and in your daily life? Are you excluded or someone you know? Do you exclude in the work that you do? I exclude now those who are non-English speakers, for example, and we are in a non-English speaking country. So I'm feeling a little bit, not bad about that I'm not fluent in Russian and can talk as freely in Russian as I can in English. So when you reflect on this, your next step is to reflect on how to include. And there's a woman called Kate Holmes that has been looking at this a little bit, and she talks about that exclusions happen when we solve problems using our own biases. So seek out exclusions as opportunities to create new ideas and inclusive designs. So get out of our biases and find new ideas. And how and where can we learn from human diversity in Moldova is another question I think that we should look at. Human beings are the real experts in adapting to diversity, and inclusive design puts people in the center from the very start of the process. And those fresh and diverse perspectives are the key to true insights. And also think about how you can solve for one person and then it can be extended to many. Everyone has abilities and we have limits to those abilities. And designing for people with disabilities actually results in designs that benefit people universally. Constraints can be opportunities, so let's find those. And we find those by going into ourselves, but also in our surroundings and looking into our family, our friends, and reach out to people who are not in our common sphere, or that are here but are not included in society to extent they should be. Anyway, maybe this was something that you already knew a lot about. Maybe this was something that you thought you knew a lot about, but you have realized in the past couple of days that you need to learn more about. And maybe this topic is something that you felt very new to in total. But in any case, I hope that you found the past days inspiring and a little bit of eye-opening. And I would like us to jointly work together to address the questions on who is excluded from the IT community and the digital transformation in Moldova? And why should and how can tech companies be inclusive in their services and products and ensure an inclusive Moldova?